Good morning, my fellow SAP students. What I'm here to talk to you about today is the asset lifecycle within SAP FICO. Within the asset lifecycle, you have two steps with an additional step that can be optional. The first step is the acquisition phase, and this acquisition can be with or without a vendor invoice. The second step is in-house, which means that you would acquire the asset from somewhere else within the company. Okay, well now whenever you acquire the asset from somewhere else within the company, now that is called a transfer. This transfer can be the gross method, which is intra-company, which means that you would acquire the asset within the same company code. And the second method would be net method, which is intercompany, which means you would acquire the asset within the same company, but outside of that company code. The second phase in the asset lifecycle is retirement. And when you retire an asset, you can retire it with revenue, which means that you would make a profit on it or when you sold it. And it could also be without revenue, which means that you could scrap it or sell it for a loss. In addition to the asset lifecycle, you also have the asset operation at the client side. And in the asset operation at the client side, this is going to be a four-step process. The first step is going to be the asset request, where they would complete a purchase order for the product or asset. The second step would be acquisition of the asset, where they would actually purchase the asset. The third step would be installation of the asset, and that's where you would set up the depreciation life cycle. And the fourth step would be retirement or transfer of the asset. That means either you would sell the asset, scrap the asset, or you could transfer that asset to somewhere else within the company. So that is the four steps of the asset operation at the client side. So that completes this presentation for asset lifecycle, as I have given you the two steps and the one optional step within the asset lifecycle and the four steps of the asset operation and the client side. So I hope that you have got something meaningful out of this presentation. Goodbye.